A local born and raised in Music City, also the publisher of Nashville Lifestyles magazine. Some people say he should run for mayor. Brian
No.
Barry is here today to help take the guesswork out of planning a trip to Nashville. Welcome to the podcast, Brian Barry.
Thank
Would you
you. I
ever run
wanted
for mayor?
no, who would have ever said that? No way.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
No, that's very nice, but there's absolutely no way. That's a lot of work and not a lot of pay.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's just because they feel like you know so much about it and you could maybe make Nashville even more fun than it is now.
Oh, I don't know. I'm at that age now where I would rather stay home than go out. Like
That's same,
when
same.
when I get somewhere, I'm ready to leave. That's a bad thing.
When we were going over the questions, like what we were going to talk about on this podcast, and I'm like, all right, well, what can my input be? Where do I like to go? And I'm like, God, I don't go anywhere. I'm just like to stay home and, maybe go to Chick-fil-A or uh
Chick-fil-A.
I mean, that's like the night out. If we go downtown, I mean, it's a thing. So this is why you needed to be here for us because I know that just because of what you do with your magazine that you have your finger
Oh yeah. We have
finger
a
on the
team.
pulse.
I'm in the office today. You can kind of see.
Yep.
There's about 10 of us total. Everyone's out there. We were just in a meeting before this talking about all the things. There's like in the next or 14 days, there's 12 events. I mean, Nashville's just, there used to be a season in Nashville when things were busy. And these are just charity events I'm talking about. But now it's like year round. There's a little bit of a lull, at the holidays and in the summer, but it's still just, there's so much going on. And I'm just talking
Yeah.
about like Nashville, not even talking about, all the suburbs, north, south, east, and west of town that also have things going on. It's
Mhm.
wild.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions, but I'll ask it right now. Do
I'm
you have a
sorry, I'm out of
favorite?
order
No, just
already.
you're already jumping ahead. Do you have a favorite time for people if to come to Nashville?
Okay, so I was thinking about this question. It really depends on what kind of trip you're going on, right?
Mm.
So if you want to come and see live music, we're one of the only places in the world that's got live music everywhere all the time, as you know. I mean, when you get to the airport, you're going to pass 10 people singing, and God bless those people. I don't know, Jen,
Same.
how
I always see them and
how
I'm
do they
like,
do
no
it?
one's paying attention.
No,
I
you're
know.
sitting there
Thankless.
playing your heart out, and people are ordering their breakfast sandwich. Like it kills me. I'm like, how
Kills me too. I know.
I'm
I
like,
know.
oh man, the nerve that they have, and God bless them and the talent. So I'm glad they do it, not me. I would have my feelings hurt on the daily, but
Me too.
yeah, but it depends. It's like, okay, so a couple things. If the summer months, June obviously is when the big country music festival is. That's the biggest thing here, kind of CMA. But you want to plan that far out because prices get really expensive because it's so popular. But also, the holidays are lovely in Nashville. If you
Mhm.
want to have a family trip, like there's nowhere more beautiful than like Cheekwood and Opryland in December,
At
or
the
even
holidays,
November. It's
yes.
so awesome.
Yeah.
And then, the weather is the thing. It gets hot and humid in Nashville. So if you're going on a girls' trip or a birthday, I would say try to do spring or fall.
Mhm.
And then of course we're the bachelorette capital of the world. So if you're having a bachelorette, you come any day. I was down last week was the comedy festival, went on for 11 nights, and I was downtown almost every night at Ryman, which was fun, a lot of fun, but also I was like, oh my God, I've had my fill of downtown. I
Yeah.
was shocked on a weeknight to see bachelorettes. I'm like, who is celebrating on a Tuesday night with with their veil and their cowboy hat? And
I
it's
know.
happening in Nashville.
I
It's a real
know.
thing.
I would say I always tell people when I would not come would be January and February, just from a weather perspective. It's
Yeah.
very unpredictable.
Yes.
Definitely could get snow. And if we get snow, you're going nowhere.
Nowhere.
So if you have
And
planned
ice. We
that,
get ice
and
too.
ice, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I could always set a calendar and say when the Antique and Garden Show is in January, or it's always the end of January, the beginning of February. There's always a snow every year. It snows. But
That's
yeah,
true.
you're right. That's when it gets chilly.
Now, alternatively, if you want to come when it's not so busy, that would probably be a
Yeah.
great time to come. But
And if honestly, if you stayed downtown, then you could walk everywhere.
yeah,
Because
that's
we
true.
never get enough snow to like shut the city down. We shut the city down because the buses don't run, so they don't
School.
do school. Yep. And then everyone gets the snow day.
But the bars are always open. And truthfully, probably half the people who are going to listen to this podcast would say, okay, well, how cold does it get? And I would say, oh, it can get to like 30. And they're like, That's like a balmy spring day when I live. So I think for like I say don't come, it's too cold in January. And some people like maybe just check the weather forecast because you might
Yeah.
think it's a completely acceptable time to walk around outside.
I mean, that's the thing. It is pretty mild, and you never know. It's like it could
Yeah.
be 60 one week and the next week have a little snow.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
been weird.
we're into April now and it's beautiful out. So
Yeah.
I love the spring in Nashville, but I love the fall too. So, okay. Well, I really wanted to treat this episode like a resource for people who are planning a trip to Nashville. I get asked all the time my favorite spots. I can't imagine how many people have asked you over the years, "Hey, I'm
Oh,
coming to
dude.
Nashville. Anywhere you recommend?" And it's like, it's such a broad question because what do you want to do? Who are you
Yeah.
coming with? What's your budget? So that's why I hope we can kind of cover a gamut of experiences in Nashville from people. But I wanted to start by asking you, because I think if you're coming to Nashville, the first thing you want to do is figure out where you're going to stay. Can you
Yes.
kind of give a bit of a lay of the land of the different like areas, zones, if people are looking at hotels, Airbnbs, etc., of where one might stay if they're
Oh,
visiting?
yeah. So obviously downtown's where most everything is, right? From a tourism perspective, that's where all the Broadway goes, down to the river essentially, and there are nothing but celebrity bars lined up one after
Yeah.
another. And the honky tonks, you name it,
Like,
everybody's got a bar there anymore.
yeah.
And there's a lot of restaurants there, little cafes, hotels, hotels, hotels. There are probably 50 hotels in that quarter mile radius. Then, so like area wise. Then when you go outside of that, over the river is East Nashville. There's not as many hotels over there. That is more of a destination. Fantastic restaurants, some cool, funky shopping. That's East Nashville. If you go west of Nashville, you head towards Green Hills. You pass through the Vanderbilt area. Green Hills has wonderful shopping. That's where our big mall is, the mall at Green Hills. So that is that area. But what I would say is another thing you don't want to miss is 12 South and the Gulch.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
12th intersects Broadway, turns into 12 South, but you'll go between Broadway into the Gulch. We did a whole issue, and it's on our website and why we love downtown that kind of explains all the micro neighborhoods inside of downtown,
Oh,
which is where it
perfect.
gets
Okay.
real fun because you've got North Gulch and South Gulch and all these
Mm.
little areas. But the Gulch has a lot of shopping. It's got hotels. You could spend a day walking around the Gulch and have fun. Tons of restaurants. Then you follow that and you hit 12 South, which our May issue is about to come out, and it's all about 12 South. There's so
Oh,
much
fun.
there, and there's some hidden things there, right? Like Dolly Parton has her recording studio right in the middle. So as you drive
What?
through,
I
yep,
didn't know that. I've been to
driven
12
by
South
it
a
and
million
never knew it.
times.
Yeah. So when you drive
Wow.
by, there's like a stucco wall, and it's very New Mexico, Pueblo kind of architecture, if you will, Southwestern. That is her recording studio.
Wait, it looks like a church?
Yeah, it's like where let's see, it used to be Taqueria and now it's
Yes.
shopping. That next block right there, like right there. The
Mm.
funny thing is, it's like some of the landmarks I remember for that area are all gone now.
Mm.
I'm like a lot of the places, but like Fonda's there, Emerson Grace.
Love that restaurant.
Yes,
Yes,
directly
Mexican.
across from there is her place. But and the great thing about 12 South is you can park and you can just walk it.
Hmm.
It's like 6 blocks, awesome restaurants, coffee shops, like Frothy Monkeys there. I mean, you can't go wrong. That's an area that I would say if you're going on a friend's trip, a birthday, a girl's trip, that kind of thing, you want to do that. You want to do a night downtown so you can do the Broadway experience and like hit
Yeah.
all the bars.
Because you wouldn't walk to Broadway from 12 South though.
Oh, no, no. I'm
Okay.
thinking, yeah, two different
Okay.
days. One day in 12 South,
Okay.
one day in Broadway, and then on your last day, and then go, find some great places for dinner, which there's a million great restaurants. And then on your last day, there's a number of things I would do. Like I would do, forgive me if I'm jumping around here, I get excited.
Oh, you're
Aurora
just, I'm
Curve,
already
that's
at the end of
dinner.
the podcast. No, go ahead. I'm kidding. I'm just gonna close my iPad. We'll go rogue. I told you, I said to Brian, I said, you know way more than I do. So if something pops up, please go
There's
for it.
just so many things. It's like one thing that's really special that Nashville has, right, is in my opinion, is Cheekwood. So Cheekwood is
Oh,
west
I
of town.
love Cheekwood.
Yeah, our
Yes.
botanical gardens, it was the Cheek family. And it's this beautiful, there's an old mansion there, right? And You can tour it. They have all kinds of things going on literally all the time. We're about to have the love sign will be there. There's nothing better than
What's the
Chico.
love sign?
You've seen it in Philly. It's the red LOVE where
Oh, okay. For like people to, oh, okay. Awesome.
so they have art in the mansion you can see. They've got a great restaurant. It's a beautiful walk. I mean, like
Yes, it
really,
is.
really pretty. Lots to do there. It's to me that is a don't miss. The other thing I would tell people that you cannot miss in Nashville, there's a number of museums, but my two favorite are, I guess maybe I should say three, but my two favorite musical ones, Country Music Hall of Fame,
Love
cannot
that
miss.
one. Yep.
You can get a docent guided tour, or you can just put on your earphones and walk through it. Dolly's new exhibit's going there. Some of her stuff is there now. You can
Oh,
see
wow.
her tiny little shoes, which are like, I don't know if you've ever seen, but
Oh,
like, she's the
no, I
tiniest
haven't.
little feet. I'm obsessed with Dolly. Who doesn't love her?
Oh,
Um, we also have the National Museum for African American Music. And have you been to that?
no.
You've
Mm-mm.
got to
Is
go.
it downtown?
It's downtown. It's in the bottom of Fifth and Broadway,
Okay.
kind
Is
of
it
on,
new?
it's a couple years old.
Okay.
It is interactive. It is the most fun. They have this,
Wow.
and it's rotating. So when you walk in, it's the history of African American music.
Yeah.
So you walk in and there's like a choose your own adventure, and it's like you singing with a choir, are you, going to a gin joint, like all this fun stuff.
Oh,
And
wow.
like you are part of it. And they're like videoing you, you get into a booth. There's a rap battle booth where you can try to sing Nicki Minaj.
Stop.
Good luck. It's a lot
Yeah.
harder than it seems to
No,
do a
it
Nicki
seems
Minaj
hard.
song.
It seems hard.
Yeah, I'd failed, but I had a great time doing
Did
it.
you do it? Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, super bass I thought was going to be my thing. It was not. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. But there's so much you can see, like Whitney Houston's touring costumes and stuff, LL
Oh,
Cool J's
wow.
necklace. But there's also Prince's performance from the Super Bowl is on a huge screen. There's just so much to see
Oh,
there, and you
wow.
wouldn't necessarily think of that as Nashville, but it's one of the coolest museums I've ever been to. And then,
Wow.
we have the Frist Art Museum that's constantly
Hmm.
got things. There's a lot of culture here, and it's just so much to see. My one thing, I didn't want to forget this story, and I don't know if you know this, but do you know why Nashville is called Music City?
I do not.
Okay, so everyone thinks and assumes it's because of country music, right?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with country music.
Okay.
So the Fisk Jubilee Singers were touring in the late 1800s, and
Okay.
they performed in front of the Queen, and she said, "You sound like angels. You must be so good that you came from Music City." And Fisk is located in Nashville. And Fisk also has a wonderful art museum inside of Fisk as well that often gets overlooked. So there's a lot of these little hidden pockets in Nashville, but to me, that's a great story when you're at a cocktail party to tell people because
Hmm.
everyone just assumes it has to do with country music.
Wow. All
Yeah,
right.
it
That
has
is great
nothing
to
to do
know.
with it.
Okay. Well, and the one thing I wanted to say too about Cheekwood when you were talking, because a lot of people said in their questions, where do the locals go? Like, where is not just
Yes.
that? And Cheekwood, I mean, like you said, it dates back so many years. But the locals, when our kids were little, a lot of the locals will buy a membership there, and then you can just go because it's a big park, but you can't just get in without a ticket. So we would buy a membership, and we would just go. I would meet other moms. We would take the kids, and they would just like run around. And throughout the year, like Halloween, they do all the huge pumpkins that the kids
Oh
can run
yeah.
in and out of. They had a big Lego competition or display, like with like life-size Lego houses. I
Yeah.
think I saw the other day there's a Princess Castle exhibit about to start there. And at Christmas
They have
time,
great programming all year round.
yeah,
All year.
they just do like lights and you walk all through these lights. You can, like you said, tour the mansion. They have like these kind of hot chocolate or boozy hot chocolate and
Yeah.
s'more stations set up along the
With
way.
reindeer. The
Yeah,
reindeer is
real
by the hot
reindeer.
chocolate. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We go every single year. The kids are, oh, and then the other thing too, is the zoo started doing that illumination at Christmas. Did you
Yes.
go?
Yes,
Did you see that? That was
the
good.
zoo is great. The zoo is
Yeah.
great. The zoo doesn't get enough props. You know what I
It
mean?
doesn't. Well, because it didn't used to be great. It used to be
Yeah.
kind of tiny. It was great if you had little kids, but then it kind of tapped out. And then it got a kind of overhaul. And again, maybe you need to put the zoo on your front cover.
Yeah, that's something to think about. We got to give the zoo some love. There's so much. I mean, it's like, yeah. And then you know what else I didn't talk about? And I have to say this because I will get beaten if I don't. The Ryman is here, right? So The
Yes.
Ryman is really the heart of where country music began.
Hmm.
So the quick, again, more Nashville history, but the downtown is WSM Tower, SMV Tower, and then LNC Tower, which is Life and Casualty. So Nashville is a music town, but before we were a music town, we were an insurance town. And so they
Didn't know that.
and so LNC is Life and Casualty, and we WSM, we shelter millions. I was like, let me get
Okay.
there. Insurance. So they sponsored and began what we know as the Grand Ole Opry. And that was downtown at the Ryman. It's an old church, and they would do shows there. And it got so large that they moved it out to Opryland, which is where
Hmm.
the Opry is now. And there's a round part of the floor that you can see is a different color, and they cut that from the Ryman and brought it out there. So there's a lot of music history here, but the Ryman is called the Mother Church for that reason. And the
Yeah, it's
Ryman has
beautiful.
Oh, and the best acoustics, wonderful shows. I just, like I said, went to the comedy festival that was 11 nights there. But there's always people coming through. And I've read this, we have more venues. I think we're like the fourth largest in the country for number of venues per capita because we have so many. I mean, the Bluebird Cafe, which is in Green Hills, right.
Yes, let's talk about the Bluebird Cafe because it is one of my all-time. I was going to ask you that, like, where your
Yeah.
favorite recommendations for live music, and that was definitely on my list. So yeah, talk a little bit about the Bluebird Cafe.
The Bluebird is this tiny little place,
So tiny,
itty bitty.
blink and you miss it.
And it used to be a strip mall, or it still is a strip mall, but
Yeah,
they've done construction and they built a huge high rise next to it. If you go to the McDonald's, you've gone too far.
yeah,
It's just like you could literally miss it. And
literally,
so,
yes.
yeah, and I would definitely tell you you want to Uber there because there is no parking.
No
And
parking.
it's in a suburb that's a high-end residential neighborhood, so it's not like there's anywhere to go park your car, right? Like you
Yeah.
want to Uber there. But they have every major artist has played the Bluebird,
Mhm.
has been discovered at the Bluebird, all this stuff. And I'll never forget my quick Bluebird story. I went one time I had at a previous job. I had my boss in from New York City. He was very, hoity-toity guy. And he was like, well, what should we do? And I was like, well, let's go to the Bluebird. And I said to him, I said, I have no idea who's playing tonight or if we can even get in.
Yeah.
So we go and we're sitting there, and this guy comes out to play, and he said, "You've probably heard a few of my songs, probably don't know who I am." And he starts playing all these huge hits, and one of them was The Gambler, right? Like Kenny
Oh my
Rogers, The
gosh.
Gambler, and all this stuff. And I was just like, "This is unbelievable."
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember who the actual like. I was so impressed with the songwriter that I forgot who was um
Oh, like
the
the actual
artist.
artist that
Yes,
came.
the
Yeah.
artist. Thank you.
Yeah.
The word's escaping me. The artist. I was going to say the singer, the artist, but it's like amazing, and they'll
Yeah.
have like in the rounds. And I just like, to me, the songwriters are so cool
Yeah.
because, it's like they wrote this music. I mean, Taylor Swift was playing the Bluebird before she was,
Yeah.
had a record deal at 14 years old. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just a
Well, I think
cool.
Didn't Morgan Wallen show up last week or a few weeks ago?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that's
People
the thing.
just drop
Sometimes
in there
people are
all the time.
surprised because if there's an artist who has someone that they always write with or writes all their songs, and that's the neat thing is that you show up and you've never heard of this guy in your life. And he's like, you might know this song I wrote, and he's playing The Gambler. And you're like, and two, I think what's really cool, like when you say, if people don't know what an in the round is, so like an in the round would be probably like four songwriters. They sit just on these chairs, they face each other in the middle of the room. All the tables at the Bluebird are around, and they just literally take turns. And the neat thing is, they always talk about the songwriting experience, like where they were, how they wrote it. So you really kind of get like a behind the scenes secret.
Yeah.
And they have a shush policy, which I
Yes.
love. There is
Yes.
no talking, which is so great because, like the airport story, it
Yeah.
really just pays just so much respect to these, men and women who are out there writing these songs. And it's great. The waitresses whisper, everybody whispers, like you're not, but yeah,
And it's
it's
such an
awesome.
intimate venue. I don't know off the top of my head the capacity, but it's tiny.
It's
I mean,
tiny.
definitely less than 100 people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and I Googled before we started this because I wanted to see, and it said that tickets go on sale at 8 a.m. 1 week prior
yeah.
and that they sell out like in minutes. So you can go on their website and see the calendar of like who's playing, and it will tell you what songs they wrote. So, but it's worth going even if you don't know who's
You know,
playing
that's a
because it's
helpful
just
hint
a.
for visitors coming from out of town.
Mhm.
One thing that is different, so I've lived my whole life in Nashville. One thing that is different now is you really do need to plan, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to have reservations, you got to get
Yes.
tickets. Things will sell out. There's something every night. The good restaurants are going to have a reservation. You're going to need a reservation to get into them. So I would definitely tell people like plan. I mean, you don't need to have reservations for things on Broadway. But like if you want to go somewhere else, you want to like, especially like what we're talking about with
Right.
Bluebird, or if you're going to go to the Ryman, something
The
like that.
Ryman. Is
And,
the
and even
Ryman
Keywood, you want to get tickets ahead of time, all that.
Yeah. Does the Ryman, I feel like the Ryman used to only operate in the winter and then the Grand Ole Opry was the summer. Does the Ryman go all year
It
round
goes all
now?
year because they have other shows, right? So like
Okay.
people will tour and go through. Um, I keep going back to comedians because I've seen so many of them lately, but even a couple weeks ago, I saw Aziz Ansari there. So it's not always music, but there's stuff all the time.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and then that just reminded me the new one opened, the Pinnacle. Have you guys been there
I
yet?
haven't. I've heard it. Have you been?
Yes, it's very cool. It's not what I expected at all. Not that I
Oh,
expected
really?
anything bad. I should back that up. It's all the bottom floor. It can have seating, but it's just one huge area. And then of course you go up and I mean, I know this, I'm making this sound simple, but it basically makes a U upstairs, almost
Yeah.
like bleachers. But then they have like a sunken area, which is general admission, where it's just standing room only.
Okay.
And I was like, the views in there are perfect. I was like, it's
Right.
insane to me how easy it is. We walked around it. I was like, everywhere is a great seat.
Yeah.
And they've had a lot of like EDM and DJs and stuff like that come through.
Mm. I
And
think
then,
Megan Maroney is playing there, and I just know this because my daughter is beating me down for tickets. And when she said something about standing, I'm like, wait, I have to stand the whole time? Like, is there not a
yeah,
seating option? But so that's why I was like,
I
maybe I'll
can't
get
do
her a
that.
ticket with a friend. No, but I think she's playing there because I think that's how I knew. Is it downtown?
Yeah, it's in that, like where the Amazon and Assyrian buildings are.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Down there.
right there. And they've
Okay.
developed this whole area. It's called Nashville Yards, and a lot of it is going to be opening. So like there'll be restaurants there, there's a hotel there, there's um apartments and condos there, like it's all right there in the
Okay.
center of downtown. And the easiest thing about it that I love is you just drive under it and there's tons of parking.
Okay. All right.
So it's
Talk
easy
a
to
little
get
bit
to.
about the Grand Ole Opry, like just in terms of where it is, what you can do there.
Yeah. So like I said, it started as the Ryman. Now it's out at Opryland.
Hmm.
Opryland is another one of those things that and I should say, I think technically the name is the Gaylord Opryland Hotel.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it's east of town, so it's about a 20-minute drive from downtown on 40. It's very close to the airport, though. So if you fly
Mhm.
into the airport, it's right near. Huge convention hotel, massive, like Las Vegas,
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
But you're gonna get your steps in.
Yes.
I went to dinner there with a client, and she was showing me around to show me some of the new things, and I was like, I think I got my 10,000 steps today.
Yeah.
But it is a
There's like a
beautiful
river
hotel.
ride. There's a water park. Yeah.
So they have the Delta, which is the mimic of the Delta in Mississippi, and it's like wild. Like all the stuff that's there, the Cascades with a waterfall,
Hmm.
and all kinds of different restaurants. And then on the back side of that, just outside of it, I should before I go into this, what they do for Christmas is spectacular.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. They have different themes every year. They have a skating rink that they put up. I mean, like if you're coming at the holiday season, you've got to go there. And if you have children, I think that's the best hotel for kids.
To
But
stay at for sure. Yes.
and I can give you a
Yeah.
whole laundry list of hotels, but that
Hmm.
one, if you've got kids, is it.
Yeah.
Grand Ole Opry is behind that, and so that is where they have weekly shows, and it's a very big mix, right? Old country singers, newer country singers.
Hmm.
It's and it feels like you're going to an old school. What is the word I'm looking for here? What were those shows called? Gosh, my brain just went out on me.
Like a kind of cabaret-ish. It's
Yeah, like a
very, well, they
variety
use
show. It's a
variety
variety
show.
show.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was like, what's the word?
It
Yeah,
does feel like
old
you've
school
gone back in
variety show.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
And it's
like,
just a lot of fun and like
yeah.
easy to go in and out of, like as far as like parking and getting in.
Hmm.
Um, you can always get tickets there. Some people will sell out, and then oftentimes they have surprise guests. So like you're going in and you'll see, there might be some bluegrass in the beginning, and they do live commercials still, which I love because it's an old radio show.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fun.
it was really what started country music, because it was a radio show, and people before television would listen to the radio show. And then it became a touring thing, and then that's how people started going to the Ryman for it. But so yeah, so you might hear some bluegrass, you might hear a little gospel, you have a live commercial in between there, and the next thing you know, it's Brad Paisley or somebody that comes out.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
you just never know who's going to be there. So
Because I don't think it matters how big an artist has gotten. Everybody wants to play the Grand Ole Opry,
oh yeah.
right? Like it's an honor for anybody to come back and play it. So,
And they regularly induct new members, but they
yeah.
don't tell them, which I love. It's usually
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. That's
yeah. So
fun. So
like
you
this
don't know.
person, yeah, they come out, play their song, and they're like, "Thank you, everyone." And then someone else comes out that they didn't realize would be there, and it's like, "Hey, we want to invite you to be a member," which is so cool, So if you're an
Yeah,
artist, you get inducted to the Grand Ole Opry. It's a big deal.
that's
So yeah,
awesome.
there's a lot of cool little things like that in Nashville.
All right. So speaking of hotels, we've talked about the Grand Ole Opry. Do you have some favorites downtown or
So
not
many.
downtown?
So I will tell you, I'll kind of break it down by stars or whatever, if you will.
Okay.
So we have a lot of wonderful hotels here, right? We've got the Hermitage Hotel, which is just gorgeous,
Love, yes.
historic. The lobby's insane. You have to see
The
it.
restaurant there.
Yeah, and that little
Amazing.
bar down
Yeah.
there. It's a Jean-Georges restaurant, so it's really fantastic.
Hmm.
But it has one of the most beautiful lobbies, quick, like, all the history. I don't know why I'm on a history kick today.
No, it's
Um,
good.
women's suffrage really, the hotel was a pivotal part of that. So there's a woman named Anne Dallas Dudley, who really stood up for women's right to vote, and they took over the Hermitage Hotel and camped out there. And a lot of their husbands were political leaders and businessmen and stuff like that, and they were like, "We're not coming home." And so if you look it up, it's a really interesting story
Oh, wow.
about how they did that, and it was pivotal. I was like,
Okay. I was
keeps
like, did you
turning
just lose
off.
your power? No.
It's because I'm not moving and it keeps thinking
Oh,
I'm not here. But we got to pay our electric bill.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's a beautiful hotel. The Hermitage Hotel is that one, and then Union Station is on Broadway, which is where the train tracks come through. Was
I've
a
never been there. I've driven by it a million times. I've never even been inside. I've heard it's gorgeous.
The lobby is unbelievable. It's like,
Okay.
I don't know how many stories tall, 5 stories tall, I don't know. It's just beautiful. Like it's like going back in time. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. It's next door to the Frist. There's a cool restaurant behind it called the Finch. So you can do things there. Great hotels, older hotels, smaller rooms, right? You got to know what you're getting
Yes.
into. Smaller rooms, but very lovely rooms. Then if you're looking for something a little more modern, the Joseph Hotel is downtown.
Hmm.
Great art. It is, I think it's 5 star, 5 diamond, whatever that rating is, like the top rating. It is there. We have a number of other hotels downtown that are cool and fun. Like the Bobby is very country music focused. It's got a
Hmm.
fun rooftop with a bus on top of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have the big stuff like the Westons and the Omnis and those things. My personal favorite is if you go into the Gulch, the Thompson is there. I love
Love the
Thompson
Thompson. We've
Hotel.
stayed there a few times. Yes.
It's a
It's
great hotel,
gorgeous. Yeah.
beautiful rooms, walls of glass. It's just great views. Um, excellent restaurant. They've got a rooftop that's got one of the best burgers in town,
Yes.
LA
It's a beautiful
Jackson.
rooftop. Yeah.
Downstairs, they have a place called Marsh House, which has one of the best brunches in town. So
Hmm.
I love the Thompson. So those are just a few of the hotels, but I'm telling you, we have more hotels and more coming. Like we're getting a Ritz. Oh, the other ones I should mention for sure. The JW is fantastic.
Right. Yes.
Great. And the bourbon steak restaurant on top of that is unbelievable. It's on the top floor and it kind
Yes.
of like
We've been there a
juts
couple
out.
times. The views are amazing. Yeah.
Insane. I mean,
Yeah.
really 360 of the whole city.
Hmm.
Um, And we have a one hotel that's nice if you want a more modern kind of California feel.
Hmm.
It's right down by the convention center on the Mombrian. Um, beautiful, beautiful hotel. So
And
there's,
those would all be walking, but those are
yeah,
I mean, in the Nashville hotels, and it's probably just supply and
they're
demand,
all expensive.
all expensive. Like
And depending
sometimes
on the
people will
time of
say, "What?"
year.
budget friendly. And I'm like, I mean, I just don't know. It just seems like every hotel is in
Yeah.
demand and expensive.
I mean, there are, there are the Hiltons and the chain kind of hotels like
Hmm.
that are downtown. But it really depends on the time of year more so
It
even than the
does. Okay.
brand. Because if you're in
Oh,
June, I mean, I've seen hotel rooms be $1,000+ that, yeah, that surprise me. And it
wow.
just depends because it's supply and demand. But there's a lot, and like I said, there's more coming. So I don't know how
Hmm.
that will be, but there's a hotel for everyone. It's like
Yeah.
there's the Dream. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. There's so many of them.
Which ones did I write? Okay, as we've
Oh yeah, I
stayed,
want to hear your list.
well, we have stayed at the Thompson before. Oh, the Four Seasons.
Oh yeah, Four Seasons is great. I should have
The
put that on my
Hermitage,
list.
yes, love that. Love the Hermitage Hotel. And I did. I said the one we haven't stayed there. I've been there to eat, and the Thompson we've stayed at, and the Hermitage. I've never actually stayed there, but I've been to that restaurant, and the lobby itself is beautiful. I put down for a girls' trip, The Graduate.
Oh yeah, it's literally could touch it from my
Oh,
office.
you
Yep.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like right here on West End.
It's not walking to downtown. You could
Like
scooter.
it's like a dozen blocks. Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
But
those
it
scooters scare
is
me though. Don't those scooters scare
they're
you?
so terrible. Yes, they because also I believe that most people riding them are not fully in their right mind to ride them
Yeah.
because they ride with such abandon. Like they're just like wee, like right down. And these girls have got boots on and their skirts are blowing up, and you see their backsides. And I mean, it's actually amazing no one has died. Maybe someone
Yeah.
has and they've kept it undercover. I feel like
Yeah,
they wouldn't,
maybe, but
I feel like they wouldn't publicize it. So the Graduate Hotel, we always call it the Dolly Parton Hotel.
yeah.
I don't think she has anything to do with it, but on the rooftop, it is one of my favorite rooftops because it's so funly. Is funly a word? I don't think
It
so.
is now. It is
Okay,
now.
it's very funly decorated, and there's this huge pink, what, styrofoam Dolly Parton head. There's
Yeah.
a pool on the rooftop. Now, I don't want to like eat a big meal and then get into a bikini and go swimming, but if that's something for you, but they also have an amazing brunch.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's so much as a couples. When it first opened, John and I were going to go downtown. We're going to do like a staycation. And I said, let's go and do this. I think it was like Valentine's Day. So I booked this hotel. He has no idea where we're going. Says he doesn't care. We walk into the lobby and he's like, this is like really cool. Like it's very vibey and fun. And we get into the room, and this is why we call it the Dolly Parton Hotel. There is like a portrait of Dolly Parton above our bed. We had like a suite, so there's like furniture and everything. And he said, I don't think I want to know how much money this night cost. He said to stay in a hotel that looks like I'm at my grandmother's. And I'm like, no, it's vintage. He's like, they've got you all
Vintage.
so full. This is not vintage. He's like, this probably cost nothing. And I was like, okay, it's like a one and done stay. But if you were going on a girls' trip, it would be a really fun place.
Yeah.
I think they
It,
actually just shot American Idol there.
oh,
The
did they?
auditions. They had them
Oh, okay.
all. They had all the contestants sitting on those little couches in the lobby that go up. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took a bunch of the old street signs, or not street signs, but signs like there was a Taco Bell and a gas station, all those things, and they put them in that lobby. And then they stacked the sofas, these mismatched sofas up almost like bleachers to
Yes.
kind of pay homage to what Weston was before they started building
Yes.
new stuff.
Yes.
But you just made me realize, Dolly Parton is opening a hotel this summer in Nashville.
What is it going to
Did,
be like the Dreammore?
did I just say something I wasn't supposed to? I'm not sure.
Well,
It is
you heard it
downtown.
here first.
Yeah, don't sue me,
You'll
Dolly.
be messaging me later. Edit that part out. Edit that out.
I think it was announced. I don't think the name of it is common yet, but
Oh,
it is downtown, not on Broadway. She's like a block up on, I think it's Commerce and very close to Second Avenue.
okay.
So right there. And so it will be her hotel. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Because
Okay.
everyone refers to the Graduate as the Dolly because of the big Dolly sculpture, but she has her own hotel coming. Yeah,
I wonder
little
if
news
are
there.
you just allowed to do that? I guess anybody can just put a sculpture of
I
somebody.
mean, can you imagine if your head is like floating above someone's like pool deck?
She seems like she'd be flattered by it. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah.
Okay, one of the number one questions, where to eat. And this is a hard one because I was just saying to you, we moved here almost 24 years ago. And if you were going somewhere like you were going to splurge and it was date night and go out like really big, you were going to PF Chang's. Like that was right. Like that was you were going out. We went there for an anniversary once. I do remember that because that was like the big thing.
Oh, it is.
Or maybe one of the steakhouses downtown. But now there's just so many amazing.
So many.
And every week it seems like there's a new one. So it's like,
So man, well, let me, so I will plug the magazine quickly on this for a
okay,
reason.
yes.
So this every April is our
Oh,
restaurant.
I don't okay, I need to get this. Okay.
Yes. And
The
so
Ultimate Restaurant Guide, it's
literally
called.
it's pages and
Oh
pages,
my
all the
gosh.
restaurants broken out by neighborhood, but we have hundreds of restaurants.
Yes. Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on what you want to do.
Hmm.
I will throw out a few of my
Yes,
all-time
please
favorite
do.
and the ones that I think are unique and different. Now, I'm saying this is the lens of not being like a foodie who's like a Jean-Georges kind of person, right? Like I'm like, I like these restaurants because I like them.
Yeah, like if you had
Here-
someone coming to visit, you would take them
Yeah,
here. Okay.
we have amazing chefs like Jean-Georges, like Sean Brock, all these restaurants that these celebrity chefs have, but I'm like, these are the ones that I would go to. So
Okay.
I love I think this is a fun time, and if I have a guest in Nashville, this is where I'm taking them. I love Jeff Ruby. Jeff Ruby's a steakhouse downtown.
Yeah.
They have live music. It's a few blocks off of downtown, so like you can go do all the downtown stuff, see all the
Hmm.
bars, and then go to Jeff Ruby. They'll have someone playing. It's a high-end steakhouse. They also have some of the best sushi you've ever had, and they have a cake. Wonder if I have a picture of it in here.
Ooh, I never had
They
the
have
cake.
a
I went there for my 20th anniversary. I've only been once, but that's where we went. Someone gave us a gift card and we were like, all right, let's try it. Is it not one of like the oldest steakhouses in Nashville though?
no,
You
it's
feel like you're
relatively
walking
new.
into, oh,
It
I don't know why I
feels
thought it
old
was
because
older.
it's
It
full of
does feel old.
antiques.
Okay, maybe that's why I thought it was so old,
Trying to
but
find
it
this
feels like you're walking
picture.
into like a mafia kind of like you expect like Marilyn Monroe's gonna come around the
Yes.
corner and everyone's gonna be smoking. But yeah, it's stunning on the inside.
They have the bar, and above the bar, I'm looking for this photo to show you, but above the
Okay.
bar they have this piano player and stuff, but they have this cake. I don't know if you can
Okay.
see this. It's shaped like a boot.
I literally was about to say to me, you're showing me a boot. That's a
It's a
cake.
butter cake. Yeah,
I love butter cake. Oh,
let me tell you
all right.
something.
I gotta
It
go
was
there.
really good. It was really good. So that's like a fun place.
Wow.
There's a couple of other like experience places I would mention. So there, a company called Icon has several places in town. They have Sinatra, which is just around the corner from
Hmm.
this place. So it's different, right? It's all about Frank Sinatra. They have his actual photos, they have his memorabilia in there, they have a painting that he made in there. Great Italian food, one of the best chicken parms you've ever had in your life.
Never been
And
there.
yeah, oh, it's excellent. It's tiny.
Okay.
Under it is Skull's Rainbow Room, which is a famous bar in
Yeah.
Painters Alley. It's
Yeah.
in the middle of that building. And then on top of that is an Airbnb, so you can actually rent a place and stay right there. That's really nice, like two-bedroom, gorgeous Airbnbs. I think there's 5 or 6 of them in there.
Okay. Wow.
Called the Lofts at Southern Turf. The building that they're in is the Southern Turf. So it's
Okay.
literally a great place to stay. You're up and down, I mean, like 3 blocks from Broadway. The right next door to you is Jeff Ruby. Like I said, Sinatra's in that building. But the same people that own that have House of Cards. Have you ever been to House of
It's
Cards?
on my list. It's on my list. It's so amazing. We take people there all the time if they come to
Yeah.
visit.
It's like if
So
you're in town,
amazing.
and it's so different because they have it's good restaurant. It's in the bottom of the Johnny Cash Museum, so you feel
Yeah.
like, why am I going through here? Because
No
it's
sign. No
no
sign.
sign. It's
Yeah.
like it's a secret. And then you go downstairs and it's this beautiful black and white shiny tile and thick red drapes. And then all of a sudden you're in like a speakeasy.
Yeah.
It's
Like
got
back in time.
back in time. And they've
No
got,
phones, no
oh yeah,
cameras.
no, because it's all
Yep.
magic tricks.
Yep.
And like you'll catch like the art is like looking at you on the
Yeah.
wall for the eye things, you know. Um, they do the card tricks and then they have an actual theater.
Yes.
And I swear to you, every time I've been, I end up getting pulled onto the
Oh, you
thing.
too? I've never been
And it
pulled.
is the craziest thing. And I don't know how they do it, but it's like the one thing I will tell you, like I'm on stage and they're like, pick your card and all this stuff. And then at the end of the trick, I'm sitting on the card. And I'm like, how did that
How did
happen?
that happen?
I'm like, how in the world? Like, Yeah, it's just crazy. I love it. It's a fun time. It's a different thing to do with
Oh
guests.
yeah. I
So,
will say, and it is nice, a nicer attire. Like
yes.
you don't want to wear like jeans and a t-shirt. People will be dressed nicely. But the one thing I always feel like when you come out of it and you're on the street and it's like we would walk out and be like, ugh, like it just was like such a letdown to walk out onto the streets because you've just been in this most amazing,
Yeah,
beautiful experience for
gorgeous.
like 2 to 3 hours that you feel like you're back in the 1950s. Then you kind of walk out and it's like, "Rah, rah, rah," but
But
definitely.
I will tell you, I don't know the last time you've been there, but they've cleaned that block up.
Okay, I
Um,
haven't been in a
Bell
while.
Bottoms, which is a bar that is, oh my God, I just blanked on her name. Huge country star right
Oh,
now.
Lainey Wilson.
Thank you.
Lainey Wilson.
Wow.
Yes.
Forgive me, Laney Wilson, for
Yeah.
forgetting your name. That is her bar. It used to be the FGL House, Florida Georgia Line, and they converted to
Oh,
her bar. So
okay.
that
I've been
whole
to
little
FGL. I
strip,
didn't know she took that over. Okay.
yeah, so she took that over. So that whole little strip right there is a little bit nicer.
Mm,
And then, oh, you know what we didn't even talk about? I'm so
what?
embarrassed. The symphony also. Nashville Symphony is right around the
Okay.
corner, right
Yes.
downtown. We have one of the most beautiful symphony houses like in the
Stunning.
country. So, and they have all kinds of programming. They have like a pop series. They have, all sorts of things. But I just happen to think I forgot that on my list. So,
And but do they, okay, so you can buy tickets to go and see
yes.
a show. Okay. Yeah,
And
it's
they have
stunning. And then
all
they
different
do, I've blanked on the name of the ball that happens every year there.
symphony fashion show next week.
Symphony Fashion Show. Is it next week?
Yeah.
I always say I'm going to go
Or
and
no,
I'm like,
week after next. I keep thinking it's next week.
okay.
It's the week after next. Yeah.
Yeah. And the dresses
In
are
that list
all,
of 11 things happening in two
but
weeks.
yeah, the dresses are fabulous. Okay. One place I had said for like, even if you were doing girls trip was, uh, the Hampton Social,
Yeah.
which is what area of town is that? Is that just downtown?
It's still downtown and it's right next on the same street as Four
The
Seasons, right?
Four
Isn't it
Seasons.
like right next to it?
Yes, is I think it's right. It's literally right across the street. They're on this opposite corners. But the Hampton Social, and then right next to that is Liberty Common, which I
Yes.
also have you been there in the
I
all the
have.
blues? It's kind of like Frenchy.
Yeah.
But the Hampton Social is it's a beautiful restaurant, but they have a rooftop, which is gorgeous. And we went there for a girl's birthday dinner once, and it was like a Tuesday, Wednesday night. We decided we're going up to the roof. Well, right across the street is the amphitheater. And
Yes.
who is playing but Jimmy Buffett? And we sat on the rooftop of the Hamptons. There was no one else up there, just us. And we couldn't see him, but we listened to a Jimmy Buffett live concert for a
Yeah.
fraction of what all those people paid
Literally
sitting
across
there.
the street,
Yes.
across a
Yeah.
two-lane street. Like it's not like
Yeah.
it's far. Yeah.
So if you can see that there's a concert at the amphitheater and you don't want to get tickets,
Yeah.
go to the Hampton Social. Well,
Another
and
place that's awesome, and all those places have great, I know this sounds silly, but let's be real, it's the world we live in. They have great places to take selfies. They have
people
great,
love that. Yes, the
there's
walls.
all over Nashville, there are tons of murals to take
Yeah.
selfies and stuff like that. Um,
I think
Another
you can
restaurant,
do a mural tour.
you can do a mural tour, and there's
Yeah.
a woman who does the photo walk, and she will follow you around and take pictures for you. Her name is Christy. It's the Gulch Photo Walk Tours. So she will
Okay.
set up like a group of like 5 or 6 people, and she'll take you to all these places and take the photos.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because like there's murals all over town. Like we believe in Nashville, and then the wings and the lips and the you name
Yeah.
it, all over town where you can take cool pictures.
Yeah.
One
Okay.
restaurant I cannot forget because my friend owns it
Mm-hmm. Yes. Could you tell?
is Shohan, which is if you love Indian food, she's a celebrity chef. She was a judge on or is a judge on Chopped. Manit Shohan. Her place is in South Gulch, so right off
Been
Broad.
there.
She's one of the most amazing human
Okay.
beings I've ever
My
known.
favorite thing there.
Oh yeah, tell
Now,
me.
okay, I don't know what they are. We always called them the green balls, but
Yes,
do you know what I
and
mean?
they pour the stuff in them.
Yes, the green stuff in them. I
I can't
mean,
remember what it's called. I bet I
they
can look
look
on her Instagram and see.
horrible. So they look like little puffed pastries with the center cut out. Like they're tiny. They're like the size of a ping pong ball. And then they come with like a clear bottle of that looks like celery juice. And they're like,
Yes,
you just pour it in and eat it, and then you just pop the whole thing in your mouth. And we were not anticipating good things. But I mean, to die for. Yes, that's an amazing restaurant. It's
trying
like
to find her on
Indian
her Insta.
fusion.
Yes,
Indian. Well, we'll put all the restaurants that we talk about in the show notes. Okay, one new restaurant that we went to and I really loved. We went there for Valentine's Day was the Henry in 12
Oh
South,
yeah, that's
which
great.
is new. Great margaritas. I had a
Yes.
spicy margarita and it was amazing. And I had the butter cake. And it was my first time ever eating butter cake.
Oh,
And it
now you're a
had
fan.
yes, now all I can think of is this butter cake boot you've just told me about. But I would, and that is in 12 South. So if you're like shopping around 12 South, that would be a great place. Also in 12 South is Reese Witherspoon's store, Draper James,
Yes.
and it has that
Also,
big
another
mural.
restaurant that's excellent there, that I actually said in my little note, and here's one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorites is a piece. So a piece is on 12 South, and it is
Yes.
Lebanese food, which
Okay, I
is
was going to say
very similar to
Mediterranean, Lebanese. Yeah, okay.
it's very similar, very, very similar. The best hummus in the world. They have, but what they have that's really special is they have very unique Lebanese wines. So if you like a red wine, like they
Mm-hmm.
have some of the most interesting,
Oh,
varied
wow.
price points. It has a really cute little patio you can sit in outside. It's like just great food. And they have a spiced fish there, not spiced as in hot, because we're known for Nashville hot,
Yeah.
but this is spiced. It's just one of the most unique, cool restaurants that I can think of.
Okay. Talk a little bit about, if you will, because Broadway, and you talked about Broadway, which originally, like back when we moved here, and obviously you remember, used to be just, yeah,
Yeah.
Broadway, right? Just like little honky tonks. And it was amazing. Like I laugh, we would have family come to visit us. I had a baby in a stroller, and we would just take our family down to Broadway, and I was the one with the baby in the bar. But we would go like on a Sunday afternoon. And we would go in, have a drink, listen to someone sing, and go to the next. Now, like you said, it's Jason Aldean's and Luke Bryant's and Lainey
Yeah.
Wilson's, right? There's like these bigger, Miranda Lambert's, bigger names coming in. And we kind of stopped going because it got really busy. But then they introduced Fifth and Broad, which then took
Yes.
me and my friends back to going down to that area. Will you talk a little bit about Fifth and Broad?
So it makes it really easy. I literally, because this comedy festival was there every night.
Mm.
It's a multi-story complex, and it's got shopping, restaurant. But the best thing is it's got like a 7 deck parking garage under it,
Yes.
because parking in
Yes.
Nashville is can be a pain.
Yeah.
Now we have the Music City Center that has tons and tons of parking.
Hmm.
But Fifth and Broad is great because it's on the like this busy corner of Fifth and Broadway where we have our biggest music venue. Bridgestone is there, and also where our Preds play, which is our hockey team. So there's
Hmm.
always something going on there. But Fifth and Broad, it's got restaurants. So Eddie V's is there, 60 Vines is there, which is
I
really
love,
food.
and 60 Vines has a great rooftop patio that looks
Yes,
straight over the Ryman. Yeah,
yes, it
it's a
does.
great
Great
restaurant.
wine. That's
Hmm.
the Vines part. And they also have these French fries that will surprise you because they come out like in large pieces with what is it? Is it a truffle fry? I think it's a truffle
Oh,
fry.
okay. I love a truffle
Really
fry.
good. But then Justin Timberlake's place, the 1230 Club is there, which is 3 stories
Yes.
with a private club in the middle. It's got a great rooftop. But when you'll see it from Broadway, you'll see like the big Apple stores on the corner. There's a ton of shops in there. Everything you can think of, from like this really cool vintage shop to
Hmm.
Carhartt. You know what I mean? Like you name it,
Right.
Nike store. It's all there.
Sephora. Yeah, it's all there.
Sephora. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like, what is it, a Shake Shack? You know what I mean? Like there's all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
There's so much there. Boqueria is there, which is a tapas bar, which is really good.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of different things to do and try there, but it makes downtown easy. Now, here's my warning. Fair warning. It's $40 to park. I paid it every
Hmm.
night the last 10 nights. So it's like
No matter your time, or is it a $40 flat fee?
I think it's like 30, I think it was like 38.70 or something for
Okay.
more than 2 hours. If you're in and out and less, it's less. But
Still could be cheaper than taking an Uber, depending on where you're coming from.
yeah. I mean, the Uber situation is tricky too, because where they're gonna, if you're downtown, where they're gonna pick you up and drop you off, you would be better suited to
Yeah.
walk to a hotel and get an Uber, because like the downtown area, we should tell people, heavy, heavy pedestrian traffic.
Hmm.
So there's not a lot of places to stop a car on Broadway and like the side streets and stuff. But yeah, it's Fifth and Broad's great though. What's your favorite place in Fifth and Broad? What do you go there for?
I love 60 Vines. I love Blanco, which is a
Oh
Mexican
yeah.
restaurant right
I've only
next to
been there
12th.
one time. I gotta go.
Oh, Love it.
I
I
gotta go.
love the 1230 Supper Club rooftop.
Yes,
Just think it's like beautiful there. Yeah, really just like those two places. Oh, and there's also Hattie B's. Can't forget the fried
we
chicken.
haven't talked about Nashville hot chicken.
Okay, talk about Nashville hot chicken because it's like a rite of passage.
Okay, I'm gonna be the worst guest for this because I don't eat
Okay.
it. I do
Well,
not
I don't
love
really eat it
spicy
either,
food.
but I know
No.
people do love it. And there's a place called Hattie B's. I think there's a few in town because there's one in the factory in
There,
Franklin. We
and
haven't
there's
even got to Franklin
Princess,
yet.
which I will tell you the Princess story quickly. This lady, I'm going to screw this up, so I'm going to paraphrase it.
Okay.
But she was mad at her husband, and so she dumped a ton of hot sauce onto this chicken and served it to him as punishment, and he loved it. And they opened a restaurant and they serve it. It's called Princess Hot Chicken.
Where is that? Where's Prince's?
There's a couple locations,
Okay.
um, just like Hattie B, same thing as Hattie B's, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like just picture like the hottest chicken you can find. It's usually served with a slice of
Wow.
white bread and a pickle, right? And then you get your side. I
Yeah.
can't do it. I would have heartburn for a week. Like
Right.
not gonna
Yeah.
work for me.
Well, the Hattie B's at Fifth and Broad, the people, when it opens, the people are lined
Mm.
up, yeah, blocks,
Yeah,
blocks. They actually love it.
it's
Um,
insane.
okay, wait, did I have any other restaurants? No, I think you kind of,
Can I say one more that I keep?
yeah, say as many as you want.
There's another one that I love. It's called NoCo. Have you been to NoCo?
No.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
this is one of the very, very best restaurants in Nashville. It's in the east on the east side, and a lot of
Okay.
these like chef-driven restaurants are independently owned or on the east side, and there's some wonderful ones there.
Yeah.
But this is my all-time favorite. It is impossible to get into. You got to make a
Oh,
reservation a month out.
okay.
It's tiny. It is the best service I've ever had.
What's the food? What's the,
It's Japanese fusion, so they
oh,
have Japanese food. They also have they make like wood-fired things, so like steaks and chicken and stuff like that. They have a crispy rice that has tuna on it, so almost it's sushi, but like it's not a lot of
okay.
sushi menu. Things like edamame, but then they get into all this stuff and they have this little tiny coconut cake at the end. But so it's a very wide selection of things to get. And I brought a friend there from Charleston who is very fancy and very much a foodie. Like she sponsors the Charleston
Right.
Food Festival. And she went in and immediately knew the guys working there because they'd worked at a Charleston restaurant. And after it was
Wow.
over, she was like, "This is one of the best meals I've ever had." And it was just, it's great. And they're opening a new restaurant on West End. Uh, Again, I have to stop and be like, "Is this public knowledge?" But I'll just say it.
Right.
Um, Please don't sue me,
I get
NoCo
sued.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dolly and NoCo are going to have a class action against me, but it's
And me, you and
yeah,
me both.
both of us. But it's down where the Ten Angel was. If you remember that building,
Yeah.
then it's been
Hmm.
vacant for years. So they're
Okay.
taking that, and I think it's going to be like a Japanese steakhouse kind of thing.
Okay.
So, but the food, it's just it is so different and so great. I would put it up against anything. But that's the cool thing about Nashville. We have a million different things, and then we also have if you're not where I hang out because I stay in my little bubble in Green Hills.
Hmm.
I love we have an RH cafe, which is restaurant.
Yes. I know. I'm surprised I've never run into you there.
No,
No, I
we-
think I saw you once there. I think I saw you there. You were with Mallory. I saw you at
oh, was
RH
it?
Cafe. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've been
Yep.
there a few times now, but I don't know what it is about that. I've never been to a place that had better lighting in my life.
I mean, you just are so happy when you're in there. I mean, the amount of money you spend on a glass of water seems crazy, but yet I keep going back, right? I
It
mean, the
is one
glass
of the
of
most
wine is
overpriced
this big
places.
and it's like $24, but yet here we are again with another reservation
I was
because it's
drinking the Scarpetta
beautiful.
wine there, and I was like, I really like the Scarpetta wine, and I went to the liquor store to buy or wine store, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I was so pissed. I paid like $24 for a glass and it was like a $16 bottle. It was
I
like,
know.
but it's
It's
so good. It's like
it's
so good. And it's like you're sitting in the nice restoration, couch and
uh-huh.
it's like they've set it up so beautifully. You feel like you're in Europe. Like it's just
You
gorgeous.
really do. Yes, you
Yeah, there's
really
like a
do.
big fountain in the middle. It's a cool place. It is a chain, so I don't want to I want to make sure I talk about all the
I
local
know.
first, but it's like,
Well, I also love True Food, which is there. That's one of my favorite
Yes.
places to have
Yes.
lunch. That's right across the street. And
Okay, I'm
especially,
gonna be real with you. What do you have
okay.
there? Because there's nothing I love there. I've never had anything that I'm like, I love this. I'm
Okay,
also not a healthy eater.
the chopped salad with chicken I get and I love.
Literally
Their
love it.
butternut squash soup is amazing. They have it's like a Mediterranean grains bowl with chicken I get, but you have to get extra sauce. They have like this edamame hummus that I love. It's like, or they'll do like I
Yes.
know. You don't like any, no. I
Well,
honestly could eat there every single day of the week.
that's why you look like that and I look like this.
That's not true. They have, I don't know, they have a lot of good food, but it's not cheap either. Sometimes I feel like it's overpriced. But it's right across the street from, if people are looking for shopping, something called the Hill Center, which is just, what did that used to be?
It used to be the Hill grocery store
Okay.
way back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, so it was a grocery store, and then they built, I feel like there was something in between there though.
Mm-hmm.
There was
I can't
something
remember.
after the grocery store and before the Hill Center that it is now.
And it's just like outdoor, not outdoor shops, but it's
Like
not a
an
mall.
outdoor mall.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And just like
Fun
unique,
places.
locally owned. Yeah. White's
Mhm.
Mercantile,
Yeah, which has
that kind of
great
stuff.
gifts, all kinds of great
Yes.
gifts.
Yeah.
And
Green
the
Hills
other
Mall
stuff,
is the mall. If you want to
yes,
go to a mall, it got a huge overhaul for sure.
they have
And
everything. They've got, I mean, you name it, they've got it. It's
yes,
unbelievable. The
there's not
shopping.
a food court because they don't want to promote lingering
Yeah, no, it's not
and
that.
kids hanging around. So I think there's like a Auntie A's. What is it?
Oh yeah,
What's
the
the
pretzel
pretzel?
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a few restaurants though, like there's the North Italian, the Cabo and that kind of stuff,
North Italia is a good one. Yes.
but they've got,
Let
I mean, you name it, Louboutin, they've got Gucci, they've got Louis
Yeah,
Vuitton.
they just got an aloe. They just got a Ritzia. They got all the things that you used to have to like go to different places to get. So yeah, now they're all in that mall. It's a
Only thing
beautiful
they
mall.
don't have, and this kills me. Oh, we haven't talked about this neighborhood, is
Mm,
Hermes is going into what we call Wedgwood, Houston,
right. Oh
which
yeah,
is
talk
off
about Wedgwood,
Chestnut. So
Houston.
it's kind of off of like if you were a bird flying over Music Row, which we haven't talked about that either, but Music Row is where a lot of the labels are and songwriters and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but it's in that quadrant a little bit south of downtown. And the Soho House is there. And really,
Mm-hmm.
truly, there's a lot of little restaurants and apartments and stuff like that, but they're building a ton there. Like the buildings right now, good luck parking because construction's everywhere.
Right.
But the Hermes is going to be there. And because Hermes is going in, I've heard a lot of other things are going there. So
Okay.
that'll be an
If
interesting.
if people were going to stay in an Airbnb, like if they were coming with a large group and we're trying to be more
Okay.
cost effective, where do you think the best kind of area to get an Airbnb? Because you know, like you look on the website and you're like, oh, I'm in
Wow.
the Gulch. I don't know what that means.
That's a tough one. I mean, if they could get an Airbnb that's in the Gulch, that's a great location because you're
Mm-hmm.
close to things. Um, and I don't, you know, some of those apps, and I forget if it's VRBO or Airbnb, you know, they never show you the exact location of the place.
Right.
You do kind of want to
Till
be,
after you book.
yeah, and you want to be thoughtful because I don't think Nashville has terrible crime, but it is a big city, you know, so
Right.
it's like you just want to be, especially if you're going to be coming home late at night and stuff like that. I would probably look for somewhere else, but the Gulch would be fine. It just depends on where you're gonna be. I
Mm-hmm.
personally don't Airbnb a lot in Nashville. I would always tell people to go to hotels, but that's because
You do.
I like a restaurant, I like a coffee shop, that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
I actually don't like Airbnbs either. I am not an Airbnb fan. We're staying in one in May, but that's just because there's a ton of us, so it's just easier. But same,
Yeah,
I like to be able to call the front desk. I like to be able to get a fan.
yeah,
I like to be able to have room
yeah,
service if I want it. But if you were coming, it would be fun if you were coming like on a girls' trip and you all could be
yeah.
together. I would say
Do the
12 South would
Gulch.
be a fun place
That's what I was
too.
gonna say. The
Yeah.
Gulch or 12 South is great. Or
Yeah.
even the Belmont area, if you can get in Belmont, there's
Oh yeah.
just a few of them. There's not many. Belmont's an old area. There's a university there, but like big old houses, walkable sidewalks, and it
Mm-hmm.
runs parallel to 12 South. So like it's easy. That whole area, I would say. Or, you know, it just depends on what your trip's gonna be because there's the suburbs, there's the Franklins and those kinds of things. If you like but you don't want to have to commute in, right? So if you're
Right.
going to do the downtown, if you're going to really do the Nashville experience, stay downtown, stay in West End, or I guess there's probably Airbnbs on West End. I didn't even think about that in that area.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
West End
probably.
is literally the same street Broadway. It's very confusing in this town. Broadway turns into West End, turns into Harding, but it's all one road. It's just
Yep.
the same road
Yes.
the whole way. You never turn, but we're going to keep changing the
It
name.
doesn't Harding then turn into 100? Highway
Yep,
100?
splits 70 and
Yes,
100. There's a
splits.
split
Yes.
there, so it could
Yeah.
go either way.
There's actually two. When we moved here, I couldn't believe how many Hardings there were. I was like, wait, I was just on Harding. It was like Harding Place, Harding Lane, Harding Avenue.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
there's so
just
many.
take an
Harding
Uber. So,
Drive, Harding Road. It's like,
yes, take an Uber so you don't get lost.
yeah, don't do that.
Um, if what about some of the off the path, like suburbs or day
Yeah.
trips? Do
Oh
you have
yeah.
any
Well, okay.
favorites?
So your former place, Sleeper's Fork.
Yes.
It's so much fun. You know more
Mm-hmm.
about Leapers than I do, but I mean, you're going to go south. You'll pass through Franklin, which we can talk about Franklin too. But Leapers Fork is great. You can
Yeah.
spend a day in Leapers Fork just wandering around and
Mm-hmm.
doing a little shopping, and you feel like you're in the country. But you're
Yeah.
probably going to run into billionaires and celebrities and artists
Yes.
who are
Yeah.
there because that's where they all live. You
It's
know?
so vibey. They also have, people are probably gonna get mad at me for sharing this, but they have the most amazing Santa Claus parade. And
Oh
Santa
yeah,
comes in on a John Deere tractor. They have like all like animals from the local animal shelter are in the parade that they walk through. They have like farm animals, but it's just like wholesome, cute, good. But yeah, then they have the Dukes of Hazzard car,
yeah,
the orange one, the for the original one from the show, right when you are
yeah.
entering into Leaper's Fork there. And then what's the it's not a distillery. It's like I need to look that up. The
Oh, it
like
is. It's their
what's it I'm gonna look that up because that would be
no, I
really
just forgot it.
if you looked at hang on, Leaper's Fork Distillery. It says it's closed, but I don't. Oh, I guess it's just a distillery. It's called
Yeah. I think
Leaper's
it is.
Fork Distillery.
Well, and there's like all those little restaurants and like
Yeah.
isn't Barbara's down there and all these little cafes and stuff where you can eat and
So Barbara's is more closer to Grassland. Barbara's is
oh,
Hillsborough
right.
Road and Old Hillsborough down there, and
Before you get
that's
to Loopers.
yes, that's an amazing thing. Okay, let's talk about Franklin.
I will tell you, we have a whole magazine that came out in May last year about the
Okay.
200 things we love about Franklin. So you
Mm.
can see all this, not to plug the magazine, but I'll plug
No,
it.
please plug away. You can
Yeah,
see it
so
online
yeah,
on the website. Okay.
NashvilleLifestyles.com. You can
Okay.
go and see all the things you want to look up because all of our content is about Nashville. A
Yeah.
lot of celebrity content, but I guess every April is the restaurant guide. But in May last year, we did all the things we love about Franklin. May this year, it's all the things we love about 12 South. So it's a lot of the things we just talked about
That's
you can
awesome.
find right there. But Franklin is awesome. It's one of the oldest cities in the state of Tennessee. There's a war fought there. There are historic homes, there's ghost tours like on the old plantations and stuff like that. But there's a downtown that's really cool, like an actual, it feels like you've gone back in time, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's a square, and then you can walk around it, super easy to walk, very pedestrian friendly, very safe, gorgeous old homes, little shops, um, great little restaurants. Colachinos is there, Red
Love
Pony's
that
there.
restaurant. Yes,
Yeah,
that's a great restaurant.
so Colacino is opening their second location across or in that area where the Pinnacle is, literally like across from that big
Oh,
venue. So they will do well there because it's going to be,
yeah. That's a great restaurant.
yeah, Franklin's great. And they have a lot of festivals because it's a lot of farmland.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's a 20-minute, 25-minute drive from Nashville. You can
Yeah.
take the scenic route and like go over the old Natchez. Like there's so much you can do. There's
Hmm.
just, I mean, it's great. It's
And they have
great.
the factory. It's called the factory at Franklin,
Yes,
which is kind of like just on the outskirts. And they have really revamped all
totally.
of that on the inside with shops and restaurants. I mean, there is not a lack of food here.
You you can eat for days and days.
Days and eat well. You do not have to just go to PF Chang's anymore. Your options are open. Well, I
And
would
it's easy to
say
get in and out of Nashville because
yes.
we're
Yeah.
centrally located and we have, sorry to jump around, but we have an amazing airport. I mean, truly,
Well, and
it's
that was going to be
really
my next
easy.
question is why you think Nashville, I mean, I think it's always been a popular destination, but why in the past, I don't even know what you would say, 4 or 5 years, 3 years,
Yeah.
it seems like it's just exploded with popularity. What are your thoughts on
So
Why?
I will tell you, and let me see if I can move my camera without screwing everything up. If
Okay.
there's Kristen Cavallari, but also up here, you can kind of see. Well, I just made this so not pretty, but
Okay.
the show Nashville, right? So the
The
television
show.
show
Yes.
was here a few years ago, and I think
Hmm.
that really did. Sorry, I apologize for the
That's okay.
video here. That really did get people interested in Nashville in a different sort of way because the show was aired internationally. And so you started having all these people come. Now, before that, again, a lot of country music, that sort of stuff. At the same time, you have people like Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, who live here, who have a different following, and they talk about how much they love Nashville.
Mm.
In that same time period, all of this in the 2000 teens, right? Nashville has the CVC, which is a Convention and Visitors Corporation, as opposed to a bureau, which means it's for profit and they are going out into the world and telling people how great Nashville is. And they're literally taking songwriters to places like Ireland and all over the world to tell people like you should come to Nashville and just really investing in Nashville. And that is when you see the influx of
Okay.
the celebrity bars and all these things coming in into Nashville grew, but it's an easy location because of the airport, right? It's in the center of the
Mm.
country. There are a ton of direct flights. It's easy to get around Nashville. I mean, like I complain about the traffic in my ripe old age of living here for 40 something years, but it's like it's not hard. I mean, you can get from one side of Nashville to the other in literally end to end in 30 minutes if you plan the
Yeah.
traffic right. And it's mild temperatures. We were talking about that earlier, right? The cost of living is relatively low, although it's tripled since the last first time I bought a house.
Yeah.
Then, we don't have a state income tax. So a lot of people have moved to Nashville or to Tennessee, I should say. So I think those are all the reasons. But I never thought it was the show until I talked to the people at the CVC. And then I realized that's exactly what it is, right? It's like people, and also I can't discount the popularity of country music, right?
Hmm.
People like Taylor Swift and now people like Jelly Roll who have brought a new interest that didn't before care about country music. But Nashville's not just country. I mean, you guys know this. There's all kinds, all different
Yeah.
genres of music here and Christian music, contemporary Christian
Is
music.
huge. Yeah.
So it's an interesting place. And I think that's why people come here. It's still relatively safe. Again,
Yeah.
it's like to me, like if you're a family, if you're a girls trip, and the last thing I'll say about that, which truly is, as much as it annoys me, it's a real thing, is it's the bachelorette party capital of the world. It's like us in Vegas. And I think Vegas may be bigger than us now, but in Austin, I think is third.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, it's like all these ladies come for their bachelorette trips.
That is the one thing you have to kind of get around. You gotta kind
Yeah.
of get your mind around because it can be a lot.
We have to warn people too that we have the pedal taverns. If you've never seen one before,
Have you been
because
on one? Have you ever been on one? Have I ever seen you
have
on
you?
one?
I have.
No,
Okay, we
no.
have to do it. We have to.
Mm.
It's more fun than it looks. I will tell you, I've actually really enjoyed it. You don't want to do it when it's hot though, but it's a bar on wheels.
Yes.
People are pedaling, and I guess there's maybe six on a side. Would you say? I can't
At
remember.
least, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so you're pedaling, and you have a guide who's in the front who's actually steering this thing,
A
and they take you
bartender in the
around.
middle.
Yes, and
Don't forget that part.
lots of music, and they take you around to all these places, and you get off and go in a bar or go in a museum or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Um, so you'll see those everywhere, everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. And sometimes like I feel like they've branched out. There's like trucks with flatbeds with like a hot tub on the back. And I mean it's a little
Those
much.
things make me so nervous. I mean, yeah, I saw the tractor one, like it's like a
Yes.
big hayride kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God.
It's not good. Yeah. People
Some
are
of those I
definitely
think the city stopped. I think some of them they passed an ordinance to stop them,
okay.
but there's still a lot of it out there.
That's funny.
It's a
Okay,
surprise if you haven't seen it.
tell us a little bit about your magazine, because
Yeah,
you have a massive presence in Nashville, obviously.
thanks.
Just tell us a little bit about like
We just turned
how did you come
25.
to be there? Did
Can you
you?
believe that?
Happy
Yeah.
birthday!
So we started in 99 and I
Wow.
was one of the first people there. It's wild. I left and came back. I've been publisher since 2013, which is when Nashville really was booming and has only continued to boom and boom
Hmm.
and boom. Um, you can kind of see some of the covers behind me here.
Yeah,
But
I can
we
see
are a monthly
Winona.
magazine, and it's funny because people tell me I hear it all the time. Oh, no one, magazines are dying. Couldn't be the more opposite for us. But we're in almost every hotel room downtown, and we have a huge social media presence. It's all got to be together. We do about 20 events a year, so that if people are coming into town, check us out because we have an Inspiring Women event coming up next week, which we're partnered with 9 women who are entrepreneurs, who
Mm.
are doctors, and all these things. And Clea Shearer, who's from the Home
Yeah.
Ed, who I love, and she's going to be our keynote talking about her journey with breast cancer and her
Mm.
new television show and all these things. And then we have a Battle of the Burger coming up in May, which is a dozen of the best
I saw
restaurants
that.
competing for the best. And here's the crazy thing,
Wow.
they serve full-size burgers.
Can
Like they
anyone go to that
yeah,
or
you just
no?
buy a ticket and we sell them at the door because it's outside, so we've got huge capacity. We can get 500 people in there, no
That,
problem.
okay, I need to look that up. That might be something
On
we
the
need to
first, yeah,
consider.
come bring the kids because
It's
it's a
May
family.
1st?
May
May
1st,
May
yeah,
1st.
family
Okay.
friendly. Bring your kids.
Okay. Okay.
But so each magazine has a different topic, and like I said, we'll highlight different areas we like, and of course celebrities. And like for instance, January is our music issue. We did Jelly Roll. He hosted a party for us that he was there at his new venue that he opened downtown on Broadway. So
Mm-hmm.
we did a concert. It's like we get to like really do a cooperative experience to bring the
Mm.
pages to life, which I love. April is our ultimate restaurant guide, so that's really cool. And you just subscribe to the magazine. It's I think we're $18 for a year or something like that.
Wow.
You follow us on our socials, the website, and we have an e-newsletter that comes out every Tuesday. It's telling you all the things to do in town because it's never ending. We also have a weddings magazine, a home magazine, and a cocktail magazine. So
My gosh.
well, there's a lot
Endless,
going on in Nashville.
endless. Will you stay here forever? Do you ever see yourself leaving Nashville? Are you?
Okay, so I will always be in Nashville,
Mhm.
mostly because we don't have an income tax.
Yeah.
Mostly
Gotta
because
be practical. Yeah.
that's why all these Californians and New Yorkers have moved here.
Yes, I know.
But there are other I mean, I love my favorite place in the country is Montecito, outside of Santa Barbara.
Okay.
But it is, I mean, if
Haven't
you
been
don't have
there.
$20 million, good luck. It's like it's beautiful.
But you're
Like
not moving there.
I'm not moving there. I ran into Rob Lowe 3 of the 4 days I was there, and that's like that
Wow.
and
That's where
Oprah.
he lives?
Yeah, Oprah,
Okay.
Gwyneth Paltrow, all those people live there, and it's a tiny. It's basically like Green Hills, right? But
Right.
so lovely and not developed. It's very quaint. And then I love Palm Springs too. I was telling you that before we started recording. I just love
Yeah.
Palm Springs. But
Never been there either.
it's different because it's the desert, so it's hot. So when in the winter months, it never gets lower than like 60.
Mm-hmm.
But in the summer, it'll get like 120. But there's no humidity, and we have so much
Oh,
humidity here
so
that
much
it feels
humidity.
like
Yeah.
90 here. So it's
Yeah.
just a
You better be
different
prepared for humidity if you come here in July or August.
all year
Even CMA
round.
Fest in June, though, is not
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's our weather's weird. It can be 60 one day and then cold. Now, of course, in
Mm,
the summer, we're about to get out of that. I feel like last week was perfect, then it got a little warm and now it got a little chilly.
yeah.
From May till September, it's going to be hot. It's going to be
hmm
really hot
Yeah.
and humid.
This will be a hot one.
But
Well, I so appreciate you being here today. And I feel like we, not in order, but covered absolutely everything I wanted to talk about.
sorry
People would
about
be like,
that. I get
wait,
excited.
what happened to the restaurant? Wait, oh, okay, I'm going to stay here. It's perfect. This is what I always say, like, this is what I want this podcast to be is just a conversation. Like if you and I were out talking, this is how we would talk, right? We wouldn't
Yes.
go in order. And I just did a quick scan through and you answered every single question I had. So
I often joke that I need a whiteboard when I'm having a conversation because I will get excited and I will start going over here and then like, wait, I got to finish this one.
yeah,
But
someone just told me the other day that one of the new symptoms of menopause is onset ADHD. And I was like, that explains it.
I must be
Perfect.
in menopause too
Yeah,
because
you're also in menopause.
it could be a thing. I'll call it
The thing
man.
is, I'm technically not, so I'm kind of worried of how bad it's going to get. Like this means like this is just the beginning. That could be terrifying, but oh,
Yeah.
anyways. Well, thank you so much. And okay, the Instagram is at Nashville Lifestyles or magazine
Nashville
at
lifestyle.
Nashville Lifestyles.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
We'll
us.
put all the handles up here. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Brian
I'll see you at
Barry.
RH. We'll have to go to RH and have our $30
Yes.
glass of wine and our
We
$100 plate of
Just
cheese.
one, just one. Well, I'll buy one round and you buy another round.
Deal. I'm in
Because
for that.
total, that will just be an actual one glass of wine, really. It might not even be a full glass of wine.
That's great.
All right. Well, thank you
Oh my
so
gosh.
much. We
This was
appreciate you
fun.
being
Thanks
here.
for having
Okay.
me.
Thanks. All right. Bye bye.